Hello and welcome to GamePlay Junkies, episode 5, I think. I'm so confused. I am, of course, Benny Mac. We're on SJP Raw Media, the YouTube channel. We're on Facebook, and we're on the Benny Mac Gaming Twitch channel. And we're obviously on delay on podcasts on SJP Raw Media. Joining me as per normal is Jack, mate. How are you doing, man?
Not too bad, thank you. Yourself?
Not too bad. I'm going to do that because that was annoying me. Bit bruised and battered. You know why? Because you're a bloody bully. No, no, I'm doing all right, mate. We'll talk about that in a minute. You've had to rush back from somewhere and get on, get on air basically with me, but we're live and we're cracking on. Really,
That's it. We've made it here in the end. Maybe a little bit of a rush, but we've done it.
well, for those that joined us last week, even though this is actually the podcast for this week, obviously. For those who joined us last week, we were obviously live and we were doing the Xbox games showcase and we were watching it and reacting to it live, weren't we? So it was.
We were.
It was. Do you know what? Xbox didn't disappoint for my money. I don't know about yourself.
No. To be honest, I was happy with what we saw. Obviously, I'm not going to say too much because that's what we're going to get into.
Well,
but I'm happy with what I saw.
A few, aren't we? Yeah, we're going to talk about a few, aren't we? To be fair. It was a man. I still no Grand Theft Auto though.
That is what would have been nice, but can't have it all, can we?
No, but I would like it all. To be honest with you, I would like it all. It's just an absolute. Yeah, well, there you go. Well, we're probably going to be waiting another year. I don't know. Maybe the end of the year we might hear something about GTA. I have no idea. But it would be cool if it was.
Would be nice.
It would be very nice, mate. To be fair, I was going to say, what games you've been playing this week, mate? Let's do this every week. Thank you very much. Hello, gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us. I don't know who it is. Facebook user put their name in, so I don't know who it is. I'm afraid, but thank you very much for joining us anyway. We are live on Twitch and YouTube on SJP Raw Media on YouTube and Benny Mac Gaming on Twitch. Yeah, what have you been playing this week, mate? That's what I was getting to. Sorry.
Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
No, I have not played anything. Oh no, that's a lie. I played like an hour of the new update on Call of Duty. But other than that, I've been working all week, so I haven't played anything.
To be fair, I have played about the same as you, mate. To be fair, the newest map on COD has come out, which is available on Warzone and DMZ. Yeah, we were playing DMZ, weren't we? So yeah. I've liked it so far. Again, I've not played it enough to really give a full on analysis, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at, mate. I'm trying to get my freaking words out, to be honest. But I mean, what do you think about the hour that you played?
I enjoyed it. Yeah, obviously we all have our own frustrations with Call of Duty and their updates, but no, I enjoyed the new map. As I said, I've only played an hour, but no, I am enjoying it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what we'll have to do. We'll have to play a bit more this week, mate. Then we can actually talk about it maybe next week because it's got a lot of DLC coming out for different games, isn't there?
Yeah.
Sea of Thieves being one of them. Not that I played that for a while, but that was coming out on the. Oh God, Xbox, isn't it? What am I on about, man? Oh God, it's not going well already, man. This podcast, to be fair. Anyway. Liam Powell, thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate it. While I try and find my words, I'm struggling today for some reason. But as what's going to become sort of a regular thing, we are going to talk about some favourite games of ours before we get into. Basically, to be fair, I think everybody knows what the highlight's going to be for Showcase, or at least these are our highlights for Showcase. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, but we're going to do a game every week until we run out of games to talk about, really, which could be a while, to be fair, so stick with us. But we started doing a thing called Jack's Fave Games and Benny's Fave Games, and we did 3 in our first one, which was the last podcast we actually did, which was a couple of weeks ago. Obviously, like I said, if you joined us last week, we were watching the showcase on the actual SJP Raw Media YouTube channel in the Twitch. So, I mean, how are you? I mean, we're going to talk about it in a little bit. Actually, no, I'll save it for a little bit. Let's get into the fave games instead, because that'll probably be a lot bloody easier. than me freaking waffling like I am now, mate. To be fair, and I'm the one who's had more sleep than you, so I don't know what's going on with me at the moment, to be honest. But let me find it anyway. One of my favourite games of all time is this here. This looked absolutely amazing back in the day. This is my number 4. We did 3 last week, like I said. This is number 4. So it's actually SmackDown by THQ, and it was SmackDown Shut Your Mouth. I just realised the trailer they're showing here showed Triple H with 2 championship belts.
Yeah.
Which wasn't actually in the game, because by the time the game came out, they had the Undisputed Championship. So it was, yeah. So it was kind of advertising stuff that wasn't happening in the game, basically, now that I remember, as we go along here. But at the time, mate, I remember thinking this was absolutely amazing. I think some of it didn't quite live up to it, because I'm looking at stuff now, and it doesn't look like... The Hardy Boys didn't look like that, I don't remember. But it's been a long time since I played it, mate. So, I mean, you're not really much of a wrestling fan, obviously. Mate, that's the type of game it was. Look, there were spanking matches in it, for goodness sake. So, you know, as Brian Panties, I think, in that, maybe it was the next game after that. But at the time...
I said it graphically now that it's shocking. But I assume at the time it was good.
At the time, it looked absolutely amazing. I loved doing Royal Rumbles on this one. I thought it was actually a really cool game back in the day. The first 2 games they did for THQ in terms of the SmackDown series, the wrestlers would come out, but it would just be their video behind them. There'd be no ring or anything. So,
Hello.
Hello, can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yeah. You did freeze, but I can see you now.
Yeah, cool. Everybody in the chat hear me and see me. I seem to disappear for a bit there. SJP Words, Sai, hello mate, thank you very much for coming and popping in. Just checking in on us, what he's doing. Liam saying, I haven't seen much of the new card update personally. I think Battlefield 2042 is a better state than Modern Warfare 2. Ooh, here we go then. Jack, you're a big... I don't dislike Battlefield by any stretch of the imagination, but I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I played Battlefield 2042 when it came out.
Yeah.
Massive letdown. I recently started replaying it. It's a lot better. Like, I mean, when I started playing it when it first came out, there was hovercrafts driving at the side of skyscrapers.
Oh, Battlefield, yeah.
And
I remember that being a thing.
Like, I have always been a big supporter of Battlefield. Big supporter. Played Battlefield 4, Battlefield 1. But yeah, I would say for me at the moment, COD is slightly edging ahead.
The main game mode we play is DMZ, though. To be fair, it's a really great. It's a great game mode.
I do like Battlefield, and if they could, Battlefield 1 was absolutely fantastic game, absolutely fantastic. Same as Battlefield 4. If they can bring back that one, like that sort of esque, so as good as that, then I will gladly go back to it. And as I said, Battlefield 2042 is getting there. It's just not there yet.
Fair enough. I prefer, we're going to talk about it actually in a moment, so I'm not going to mention it, but you know which one I prefer because we're going to talk about it in a minute, which is your favourite game. But just quickly, just shooting back to this, well, I'll show you a little bit of footage from this SmackDown game very quickly for those watching us on SGP and Twitch and everything on BenNy Mac Gaming. A lot of this was really cool back in the day. There wasn't a lot of commentary, to be fair. There was little snippets of it. By the next game, Here Comes the Pain, there was no commentary whatsoever, but they replaced it with more gameplay, basically, and a lot more stuff to do.
Yeah.
This is, you could walk around backstage on this one. You could walk around the entire arena. Let's try and get some actual bloody... So here's some footage of walking around, look. You could walk around and interact with other superstars at any point. They would be there or they wouldn't be there. Here Comes the Pain streamlined this for me because I don't mind walking around initially, but after a while it got really annoying trying to find where to go and what to do and who to talk to and not to. To be honest, half the time you just can't be bothered to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
But like in terms of like, oh Jesus, just walking around was good, like I said, but generally in a sense of basically. In Here Comes the Pain, you basically click where you wanted to go, who you wanted, and they would tell you who's in the corridor. Again, this is quite cool walking around. I think Jack changed his camera for those watching live. He should be there. What's this? The Portal mode on 2042 is amazing. I've not played it, Liam. I'm gonna have to. We're gonna talk about Battlefield in a moment, Liam. Trust me, we are gonna talk about it because Jack's favorite game. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready, Jack, backstage there, so I know to bring you back in. If you can hear me, I have no idea. There you go. Cool. There he is. Change your camera. So, but yeah, it's going well today. Yeah, as per usual for our shows. But yeah, there were moments in this game like this where you could walk around. It was good, like I said. But for me, mainly, it was doing the. Let's get into the actual. You could steal and take his bike as well. I just remember seeing this here. He would ride it to the ring, and it would actually be parked ringside. So this is what I'm talking about entrances now, Jack. This is obviously going way back now, but it set the stage for a while. This is when THQ had it. Obviously, THQ had to relinquish it for 2K14 was officially the first 2K game, but really it was the. I think there's a family quarrel going on in the chat here. Do you know what else would be amazing in finding a bloody job, lad? Laughing. Okay, there we go. We're not getting involved in
let's
that.
stay away from that.
Well, that's a Paul's Palace episode or something. That's
yeah.
Keep it cordial, ladies and gents. But yeah, it was a great game. Again, as we're looking at this, Triple H does look a bit like, the graphics have obviously not aged well, to be honest. Again, mate, I got so many memories of playing this. The career mode was amazing because you literally just went through and tried to become champion. Like I said, again, in Here Comes the Pain, the next one, Here Comes the Pain is considered one of the better games in this franchise, basically. So,
yeah.
But yeah, it was a bloody great game. I know I've gone old school again, but there's a reason for that because, funny enough, as Liam was mentioning, I'm not with it, mate. Help me, for goodness sake. Liam was mentioning Battlefield. Jack has brought up his favorite game, number 4, of being Battlefield 1.
Yes, I really enjoyed. So, I left the Call of Duty franchise after the original Modern Warfare, so Call of Duty 4. Didn't go back to it. Went straight to Battlefield. And played Battlefields 2, 3, 4. Was spent loads of time on 4. Really enjoyed Battlefield 4. Loved the fact of just the destructibility of everything. Then Battlefield 1. I remember the trailer with the music on Battlefield 1. Brilliant trailer for it.
This is the right trailer, by the way, Jack, but for obvious reasons,
yeah,
I can't play the audio but I know exactly the music was brilliant. You're 100%
absolutely
right.
Brilliant. And the gameplay, I remember putting hours into it. Our entire group of friends would put in hours into this game. Really, really enjoyed it.
Well, mate, you mentioned about playing hours and hours, mate. I played with you because it was one of the first games that I played on the first Xbox One.
Yeah.
Because I didn't join till late, basically. And it was just... oh, mate, it was amazing. I think there's a clip that still exists somewhere. It might be on my Facebook page somewhere of us playing Battlefield and the big blimp thing exploding above us and starting to fall.
Yes.
And you go, run! I gotta try and find the clip, mate. I'll try and find it. But it was absolutely, oh, mate, it was a great time.
I remember when they introduced, was it Frontlines game mode?
Oh, the Frontlines game mode was amazing.
Yeah.
Go on, you tell it.
For anyone that doesn't know what that game mode was, it was you had to fight over points, but they pushed you back and then you could retake a point and push them back. And basically you had to push them all the way back to their spawn where you'd fight over 2 points. And when you captured and destroyed those 2 points, you won the game. When they first introduced it, there was no time limit on the game mode. Which they later changed after to 45 minutes. Me and Ben were playing this game mode for at least an hour and a half, constantly fighting backwards and forwards in this one game. But obviously, as Battlefield games are, everything was destructible. And I remember the middle point on the game, which we kept attacking and then defending, attacking, defending, was just craters in the hill where it had been blown up, smashed to pieces, grenaded, shot at. Everything you could think of had hit this area. And all I remember now is just holes in the ground because there was nothing left after an hour and a half of continuous fighting until we finally won. But I remember that hour and a half on one game. And then they put the 45-minute limit in, I think like 2 or 3 days after that.
Yeah, they nerfed it, or whatever you want to call it. They literally changed it, didn't they? So it was a 45-minute time limit. So but because anybody who's played Battlefield knows there's destructible cover, basically, as I'm getting at, which is what you've already said. But it was just like that place where we were. There used to be like a little village there. I say village, 2 buildings and a wall, and a couple of walls around it, quite big annex type buildings. By the time we got there, there was nothing left because we were just fighting over the same spot all the time. And basically, you would push forward. It was
absolutely. We had some real laughs on that game.
Operations as well, mate. The amount of times operations was a great game mode. Open war, basically. Fighting over you have to push. If you're defending, you got to stop the advance. Obviously, then if you're advancing, then you got to take 2 or 3 points and you push the battlefield forward. And it was a bloody great game, mate. I still rate it now. People are still playing it, in fairness, but operations people tend to play. What I found, team deathmatch and stuff, you can't really find anymore. This is some footage for those people watching. When did this game come out, Jack? Remind me. 2015, 16.
I think yes, it was, wasn't it? Right, because it was not. It was like one of the original for the new Xbox, wasn't it? If I remember rightly.
Yeah, but looking at, mate,
I think it's 15, 16.
Yeah, it still looks bloody good, mate. To be fair, I love this. I still love it. I don't mind Battlefield V, which was the next one, but this was like a perfect game. The way you shoot, the game mechanics just felt.
Yeah, the sniping on it especially seemed to have excellent mechanics.
Yeah, 100%. I loved it, mate. So yeah, that's Jack's fave game, number 4. And I don't blame him, to be honest. One of my favorite. October 2016, Battlefield 1 came out, so we weren't too far off. So there we go. I remember, mate, I loved it. It was a bloody great game.
I think we probably lost half a year to that.
That's what I mean. Before this, the only game I can think of that, don't get me wrong, the wrestling games and stuff I play consistently, but up until recently, I guess. Although I've restarted playing 2023 again, but Call of Duty Modern Warfare, or Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, in 2007 barely left my console because that's when we had discs. Battlefield, obviously, I had the downloadable. Obviously, it was a downloaded game. It wasn't I didn't have a physical copy of it. But again, it was a game I played consistently. I love the squad thing of it. I love the fact that you could have 5 of you, and if you play your part right, one of you could be giving out ammo, one of you could be a medic, others could be a sniper, and then like an assault maybe. I love the mortars.
I remember the mortars.
I absolutely love
that. Someone would be the sniper class, popping the flares in to identify the mortars.
That's it. You used to be a sniper, and I used to be the mortar guy, the ammo dude. And I'd be like, Jack, have you got any flares? Oh, I've run out. Okay, here's some ammo. Pop some flares over there, mate. Then I'd start launching mortars in to try and take out either tanks or infantry.
I'm trying to see if I've got any of the clips.
I was just looking on my Facebook. I can't find the clip I was on about. I think I must have, because it was when we were doing other things. Let's go to the chat. We were looking for that quickly. SGP words, Sai. I can remember playing those early SmackDown games and loving them, and then brought the Raw game for the original Xbox. I was so disappointed. Mate, I brought the original Xbox for that Raw game. I'm going to see if I can find some footage. And I graphically, what an improvement at the time. What an improvement. Gameplay-wise, wasn't fun. It looked good. It had the lighting, it had the effects, it had the pyro, it had the music. Let me see if I can find some footage. WWE Raw. But it just, in terms of a game, mate, it was just no. It just wasn't fun. Basically, is what I'm getting at. That's the best thing I can really say, to be honest. Let me see if this is any footage here. Oh, good God, yes. Oh my God. There you go. Let's see if Si remembers this. He probably will. Jack, this will probably be brand new to you because you're not really a. There we go. Steve Austin. Yeah, that's raw. I brought the Xbox, the original Xbox, and to this day, I'll tell you the story. Right? So I go to game, I've earned my money, and I want to buy an Xbox.
Yeah,
I'm moving over from PlayStation 2 to Xbox, and everybody's like, no, Xbox is shit. It's blah blah blah. And I had a mate who said to me, Xbox are cheating by making the Microsoft are cheating by making the Xbox because of the system it used. Now, compared to the game I just showed you, obviously this is them just showing the footage. Let me just find a bit more actual gameplay. There we go. In terms of the game I've just showed you, that is an improvement, isn't it? They tried to recreate like it's gone black as soon as you look at it. It's hilarious. There we go. That's an improvement. I'm not saying it's amazing, but that is an improvement. But look how you can tell just by watching it, mate. Look how like slow it is and clunky it is, and just just didn't feel like a wrestling game. All right. But I went into game. I think it was actually it was game. I was going to say it might have been Electronics Boutique, mate, if you remember that in Gloucester.
Oh, really? But, no. I'd seen that for a long time.
Yeah, but the guys behind the counter were like, "Oh no, you should get Halo. You should get Halo with it because Halo was a launch title. Same with this Raw game. Even the there you go. So saying the same thing. Yes, looked great, but felt sluggish though. Yeah, it was. Even the second game, they did a Raw 2, mate, as well. They did a Raw 2 for this, and yes, clunky is the perfect word to describe it, BenNny. Yeah, no. I love the intro and stuff. I was like, yeah, but they sort of progressed the intro and stuff in the presentation, but the gameplay was just fucking awful, basically. And I was so disappointed by it. But the guys in the shop were like, no, you should get Halo. You should get Halo. It's a great game. And I'm like, no. I want to buy Raw. I want Raw with it, please. And they actually got to the point, mate, where they were pissing me off that much that I went, look, either give me the fucking Raw game or I'm going to go buy my Xbox elsewhere. All right, calm down. This went on for 20 minutes. I want an Xbox and Raw with it, please. All right, looking back on it, I wish I'd have got fucking Halo, but it's not the point. At the time, I'm like, here's my hard-earned money at fucking, 16 years old, mate. Fucking, you should get Halo, mate. It's a great game. Yeah, but I want Raw. Yeah, but you should get Halo. Yeah, but I want fucking Raw. And there was an argument going back. I said, look, mate, and I barely do this in shops ever, but I literally went, either give me the Raw game with it, mate, or I'm going elsewhere to buy it. And
like, you won't be in that person.
I was the original Karen in that moment. But like I said, looking back, mate, I wish I'd have. I got Halo with it. I mean, I brought Halo 2-3 weeks later, and it was a great game, and they were right, but they didn't have to be dicks about it, did they? They weren't willing to show me. They weren't willing to show me any because I didn't know. Because back then, the internet was, Xbox Live wasn't even a thing yet.
When was Xbox Live?
2002, I believe.
2002?
Yeah. So, mate, but I was just like, I want this. But yeah, like I said, to this day, I wish I'd have got a Halo with it. But it looked fucking amazing, mate, at the time. Let's go into Liam quickly before you do it. I haven't played a lot of Battlefield 1, but one of my mates played it all the time when I was over his house. Yeah, mate, it was the great. Thing is, I love Battlefield games is how, in order to capture objectives, you have to push a team and push enemy. Yeah, we've been playing a lot of COD lately, mainly the new one. But the game modes we play are very much
we're objective
based. Yeah, team deathmatch is all right, but I prefer like domination or where you've got to capture something or hold a point or like Liam just said in Battlefield. I loved operations. I barely played team deathmatch or any other game. But Rush I liked on like Battlefield 3.
Yeah,
that was cool.
We're objective players, objective game players. Definitely,
it makes more sense to me. To be honest,
100%.
Because otherwise, you just not that you don't get people camping in objective games, but it makes it a lot more fun. It's fun for us, and I love DMZ because there's an objective there, isn't there? Or we're raiding, or we're doing stuff. I love DMZ. I think that should be a game. It's still in beta though, as well, which is weird. It's been in beta for well over a year.
Yeah, something. Maybe they're just like it's always just going to be in beta. I don't know. You're not there like
maybe a separate release. I don't know. Anyway, so Battlefield 1, Jack. Any last words on it? I mean, I
found the clip. I'm just trying to get it to you.
What's
which
it on,
is
mate?
always I found one of the Battlefield clips of what we use, but I'm just trying to find it.
Is it on YouTube?
I've sent it to you on Xbox, but I don't know how you're going to play it. I was trying to get it to your Messenger.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can't. Maybe that will work this way. Liam in the chat. Jack, if you want to read that while I'm doing this.
DMZ is absolutely fantastic. Best thing they have done in ages. Yeah, no, 100%. You're absolutely right there. Best thing they've done in a long time. Best thing they've done in a long time. I found that I like it because it gives you the more objective base instead of just being normal Warzone and just going in and the game is to kill everyone else on it. This actually gives you the challenges, and some of them are stupidly difficult. I remember doing one of the missions where we had to activate, was it 5 or 6 SAM sites? And the only way we could do it was to literally get around on a helicopter, and even then we barely managed to do it.
What's that for?
When we did that to activate all the SAM sites at once.
Oh, on DMZ. Sorry,
yeah.
I was trying to. Yeah,
and it was just so difficult to do.
Unfortunately, mate, I've tried to open up the Xbox thing.
Yeah, it's a pain. Normally, I could access it on my phone and send it, but I don't know.
But it seems it showed up on here, and I click screen 1 and share. But as soon as I do that, it does that. Oh, there we go. There we are.
It's just what it's a clip that just shows you that I like how it looks. If you're watching now, see I will get hit there by the rocket and how the cover's destroyed. That's what I like about Battlefield. And the sniping mechanics.
Mate, that was a great shot. Was that you?
Yeah, that was me, yeah.
That was a bloody great shot.
But
mate,
just
it's a great
the destructible cover has always been a massive... I remember Battlefield 4, I can't remember what the map was, but you had a giant skyscraper in the middle of it, and like halfway through the round, the skyscraper just comes down. You fighting on the skyscraper, and the whole skyscraper just comes down, and then you're fighting through the rubble.
Nice, mate. It was a great game. I actually reinstalled it a couple of weeks ago, but unfortunately, there's not a lot of people playing it.
Servers, is there?
So it was.
Well, Liam said there we spent ages trying to extract the M13B. Is that the one the chemist had?
I
think it is.
Think so. On Al Mazrah, yeah, because that was a pain in the ass.
Yeah, because that was what that took us ages to do that.
What's this? So everyone knows I'm not a big gamer. So when you enter, whenever you guys share clips, I'm blown away by how the graphics look, mate. So you need to tune in every week, mate. Yeah, the chemist gun. That's what he was after.
Yeah.
So I need to tune in every week, mate, because we're stay with us, Sykes. We're about to show some stuff that's coming out in the next couple of months and sometime next year. So stick around, mate, because there is some great stuff coming. The Unreal 5 engine we have talked about in the past, but
absolutely fantastic. Absolutely,
it's gonna be. Mate, you need
fantastic.
to sit up in your chair or enter your camera that you're disappearing, mate. Your
camera's moving.
Oh, he's disappeared completely now. There you go.
If he likes clips and wants to see graphics, then I'll send you a clip that you can put up from COD. Because going by what we've just shown of
What are you sending me on?
Battlefield 1. I'll send you on Messenger. That's easiest. That.
Yes, mate. Yeah, that'd be a lot easier.
It's sending to you now. So this is this current Call of Duty. This was a couple of weeks ago. I think it was me and you who was playing. It was either me and you, or me and Nathan. But I think it was you. But if you thought the graphics on the other one, this looks a lot better.
If I can get it to do it, then we will. If I can open it up to big screen, there we go. Come on. Sorry for those people listening on the podcast, because obviously you ain't going to see any of this.
I will just point out as well in this clip that my sniping skills are exceptional.
Unfortunately, mate, I don't think I can get it to work. I'll tell you what, we'll move on. If I get it to load, I'll show it then. It seems to. I open up to big screen because obviously I need it for big screen for people to do. But yeah, I'll stick around for a while when I do have an episode Doctor Who to edit that comes out tomorrow with you. As I guess, BenNy, I'm going to be hearing your voice in my sleep at this rate. Okay. Well, I don't. Do I apologise to that or don't I apologise to that? I don't know.
Yeah, Liam, the chemist gun, as you said, would pain in the ass to get. And in fairness, it's not that good, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. It was a pain, and it wasn't that good. But that's Miles Morales Spider-Man game on the PS5 with ray tracing. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Visually, absolutely fantastic. I've played that, and I'm really looking forward to the new Spider-Man game coming out as well. I will give I'm an Xbox gamer, but I do have a PS5, and I will give it credit. That Spider-Man game did look fantastic, and the game was really good as well.
Yeah, I don't have a PlayStation, so I've not had a PlayStation since PlayStation 2. I borrowed a PS3 back in the day to play a certain game, which I really liked at the time. But that was it. I've not really played on PlayStation for many, many years, to be fair. The new one the new Spider-Man does look amazing. That's the only game that I would really like to have, but we were not going to have on PC or Xbox. Oh, is it PC or is it just Sony?
It'll eventually come to PC, but they usually like years down the line. Just a note as well, I just tried to send you that clip again the same way I sent Battlefield, so I don't know if that'll be easier for you to load.
Oh, okay. I'll tell you what, I'll give it on Xbox, was it?
Yes.
Okay, let me try.
But yeah, no, the new Spider-Man does look fantastic. Hope if it plays anywhere like the last one, then it'd be great. Really enjoyed it. And that's coming from an avid Xbox gamer. Before the PS5, I didn't have a PlayStation since the PlayStation 2. No, the PlayStation Slim PlayStation 2. This is it.
Let me know. There you go. So if and anybody watch this, so I think I'm driving here. Is that right?
Yeah, you're driving, and I'm on the back of the jet ski.
So I apologise for anybody that's listening. Obviously, you're not going to see it, but yeah, join us 5:30 every 2 weeks. We are on SJP recording our podcast. Sometimes there is special events, which there was last week's, hence why we were twice. There was no podcast for that, but there will be for this. But yeah, here you go. If I can get it to play, mate. There we go.
I don't know how I see this guy just led down at that.
Knocked him.
That's it. Without even stopping the jet ski, look.
You just wanted to show off your sniping skills. That's all that was. I wonder why you were pushing so much to get that video played. Oh, man. Random question from Side before we move on. Does anyone know much about the AW game coming out soon? My youngest Charlie has just seen it. It's going to be available on Switch as well. I've looked.
Liam's just answered the question. He's put comes out the
29th of June. Yeah, it comes out 29th of June. Holy shit! Let's look at that water to start, mate. You want to see Sea of Thieves, mate? That water is amazing.
I'll just point out that clip wasn't recorded in obviously native 4K. It was I think it was 1080p, so it looks far better if you're playing it like properly.
Yeah, 100%, mate. I can't remember what I was going to say now. It looks all right, AEW. It does look more like the old school THQ games because I believe THQ or Jack Specific, who used to work with THQ, because they. Oh, there's loads of history here. Right, so 2K20 was a fucking shit show because the deal ended with Jack Specific, I think, who did help them do the animation, I believe, and other stuff. So when 2K20
was that? Hang on, can I just interrupt a sec? Was the 21 the one with the stupidly slow loading?
No. That was 2K. What did you play? 17, mate.
Okay, that's the last one I played. Then
Yeah,
the
so
that,
that ruined it for a lot of people. 2K18 fixed that, and 2K19 was a great game for me personally. And then when I saw 2K20, I was like, it looked absolutely shocking. But yeah, I would say AEW looks more like a arcadey, old school wrestling game like it used to be. Now it does look quite fun. I'll tell you what we'll do, Si. I will. I don't know if there's any footage, mate, because we have got other stuff to chat about. Let me just have a look for Si quickly.
Yeah, no, carry on. We're just going to go over what we already discussed last week. So,
yeah, but obviously for people that didn't join us last week, this is for the podcast. So, they're not going to unless they joined us, they're not going to be really maybe aware, I guess.
But, they know what we're like. We go off on tangents.
Pardon me. Excuse me. That's definitely going to be final preview. So this was done by who is this? This is IGN's final preview. So this would be quite handy to look at. As you know, I'm not really an AEW fan, so but here's some of the graphics. Here you go. There's not going to be no audio for it, but let me just stop that screen. Present. So many buttons to press, man. There you go. But here's the game. This is AEW. I saw some footage of it. Again, it looks more like the old school sort of 2K18 because I believe it's the same people that about what she will be playing it on, really. Well, a Switch should be fine. So what was he asking? Sorry, yeah, I know the release date. Just curious as the games on Switch, etc. Charlie being 13 and not really playing games like that before. I'm assuming here, so I beg your pardon. So, but there is a lot of blood in it, based on some of the images I saw. Now, I'm assuming you can turn that off.
I was going to say most games these days have got an option to,
but they have put a big emphasis on blood. I don't know whether we can see any in this video particularly. It looks like you can do promos and stuff. It looks like it's going to be a good game in terms of, but it should be fine. There's going to be, I believe there's going to be like a career mode on it and stuff as well. So it looks like it's going to be good. But I do, like I said, it's not going to be like 2K23. The WWE games have gone more. It's gone a little bit more arcadey this time, but it's still simulation based. And I think based on what I've seen on AEW, there's mini games to do that have nothing to do with wrestling necessarily. You can work out, as you can see there, and this is the story mode. This is one of the mini games that it's random as hell, mate. I'm not going to lie. It's a very out there wrestling game. Doesn't mean it's not going to be fun. Maybe we do a review on it or something. I don't know when I get a chance to have a look at it when it's actually out. 29th of June, I believe. Liam said, didn't he? So, it looks good fun, mate. All I can say is maybe do a bit more research on the game. I would always say that for video games and consoles and everything. Jack's a very avid, person that will do his research. But like I said, it does look more like a more of an arcadey wrestling game. But like I said, some of the footage, the mini games should be fine for her. Yeah, definitely, 100%. Si. Like I said, there is blood in it, and it was quite a lot. But it depends on how old she is and what what she's like as a person, I guess, because she loves the crowd. Charlie loves the blood, crazy little lass. Okay, but as I said, sorry, most video games have an option to turn these things off. So if you want to turn it off, you should be able to. You right, Jack? I think I've lost Jack. Can everybody else still hear me? Jack seems to have frozen, so I don't know what's going on there. Brilliant. Do that one instead. There we go. What was that? Gets excited for the barbed wire. Oh, crikey. Okay, so she probably, yeah, maybe she'll be fine. Again, it just depends on what you want for your little one, basically. At the end of the day, it is a video game. I don't know what's happened to Jack. We seem to have lost him, which is brilliant. Like when we're live. Let me see if I can send him another copy of the invite. Paste. Boom. Hopefully that will work for him. I don't know, but anyway, we'll move on. So hopefully Jack will be back in a minute. It looks like he's back. You right there?
Yes.
You absolutely froze, mate. I have no idea why.
I think I may have had too many Chrome tabs open.
I think mine's a bit like that, mate.
I was trying to see if I could turn the see if the blood could be turned off, and I opened a new tab, and everything froze.
Oh, okay. Well, you're back anyway, so that's all fine. She used to play Mortal Kombat on my PS4 when I went out, so I think she'll be fine. Yeah. It depends on it really does. I personally believe it depends on the child. Actually, before we get to Fable, mate, I just realised we need to talk about this, don't we? PlayStation says it will still has no intention of competing against Xbox Game Pass with day one PS Plus launches. So basically, Xbox has a Game Pass, and it's what? How much is it now? $10.99.
It's a PS Plus, isn't it? PS Plus.
Yeah, but how much is the Xbox one?
Xbox.
$14.99?
No, is it $17.99 now?
Oh, has it gone up? Is it okay?
That's Game Pass price.
Yeah, probably should have looked at this beforehand. But basically, as we're going to be talking about Starfield in a little bit, there's a lot of games and Fable. There's a lot of games that come out on Game Pass, and if you're a Game Pass member, you get to download them without paying the full price and get to try them. And if you want to, you can just keep it on your console as long as you remember. But I like this because you can also, if you really like a game, you can actually then buy it, can't you? So if you want to do that. So, but PlayStation have no inclination to release their games that they're releasing.
They're day one games, isn't it?
Like day one games. So Starfield,
on Xbox.
Yeah, so Starfield is going to be a day, Xbox day one pass. So if you're an Xbox member, you get to play it when it comes out. We've already got it pre-installed.
So basically. It's $10.99 a month for Game Pass Ultimate.
There you go then.
So really, you think of it, you're going to be paying. Starfield's a AAA game, and so it's going to be minimum 70 quid, minimum, if not pushing the 80 quid mark.
Well, I think the special edition is like 200.
Oh yeah. Assuming you don't go for the special edition.
That comes with physical items though as well, not just a game, by the way.
Yeah. So that's 7 months of Game Pass Ultimate. If you download 2 AAA games, you covered your year, and you've got access to hundreds of games.
Yeah,
and that's all. If you've got the Ultimate, obviously that's Xbox Ultimate. You have the normal Xbox Game Pass, don't you? Which is just Xbox, or you have just the PC one. But Ultimate gives you PC and Xbox and Xbox. Yeah, so you're opening up a massive library of games, and the fact that, like, anyone that watched us last week when we were
watching the show
live, you'll have seen how we kept mentioning day one on the Game Pass. Yeah. And how we kept bringing that up, and that's because that's the value for money there in the Game Pass is you're getting everything, all these games, and all these big games, all Bethesda's games coming day one. Can't fault it.
Liam in the chat, not an Xbox player, but the Game Pass is fantastic. It also extends, if you get Ultimate, it extends over to PC. So if you're a PC player, you get loads of games. It's a great freaking format, but obviously it does pee off people, namely Xbox, the PlayStation, not Xbox. Sorry.
See, I'm a firm believer, right, that you should be able to play whatever game you want on whatever console you want with whatever controller you want. And I think that's somewhere that Xbox is heading, because I know I read somewhere a few months back that you can now use a PS5 controller on an Xbox.
All right.
So you can do it like what you want. But why can't the Game Pass be available for PlayStation? and vice versa.
Why can't
you?
yeah,
If you're an avid PlayStation fan, right, and you've got your PS5, then but you really want to play Halo, which is an Xbox exclusive,
yeah,
why can't you then use Game Pass to play it? The same with Spider-Man and God of War. Why can't you then purchase PS Plus? Because they're still making their money, and Xbox is still making their money, but when it only benefits the gamers.
Yeah, but I think Xbox has tried to do stuff like that, but it's just not forthcoming, is it, from Sony, basically? As much as I love my PS, Sony are ruining a lot of deals just because of arrogance and greed. Liam's nailed it.
Nail on the
head.
head. Nail on the head
there. And I mean, Sony won't go out of business tomorrow because they don't just do consoles. They do films. They do music. They do loads of they got their fingers in loads of different pies, basically. So,
that's it. There's so much there, but gaming should be obviously we're well past the old days of the console wars, where you'd stand there and have adamant arguments with your mates over who has PlayStation or PC or Xbox better, and then you'd have someone who had the gaming PC rock up, and then you both start on them.
Yeah,
those old days, we're well past that now. As I said, anyone should be able to play anything on everywhere, and we're finally getting to the stage now where cross-play is becoming much more prevalent, which took far too long to get cross-play to do it. Like I said, you should be able to play whatever you want on whatever you want with whoever you want.
Sorry, mate. Yeah, 100%. I agree. It's again, but like Liam said in the chat, it's basically the just the greed and the arrogance of PlayStation, really, is what he got at. So it makes perfect sense. Fable obviously coming out, the date to be announced at the moment. We're thinking probably sometime next year at this point. This is actually Fable 1 on screen now. This is actually the remastered version. You yourself, though, Jack, haven't really played any Fable, have you, at all?
Not played any.
So I played the original on the original Xbox, and I wasn't much into these games, like this style of game, really. The only one I'd really played, which was probably close to this, and I don't mean this in a sense of like cult classic or anything, but Fable is almost a cult classic, I would say, at this point. Lionhead Studios is a British game. The accents in the game were hilarious. You had Northerners, Scousers. It was brilliant. The British humour in it was amazing at the time. But like the only one I really played that's similar to this would probably be Ocarina of Time on the N64 in Zelda. So, but you've never played any of these. So there's 3 of these, mate. There's 3 Fable games.
Hey, I ain't got time to play current games, let alone go back and visit any else.
Nah, you got to go back and visit some of these classics, mate. Liam Powell in the chat. The console wars are stupid. Play on what you want. I play a game called For Honor with a mate, and it's amazing that we can finally play together after 6-7 years of waiting. There you go. Look, that right there, being able to play with your friends is the whole point. Again, Liam, mate, you need to be on the show, mate. You've nailed it again. I think Liam's more professional than us. He can be like our moderator or something. So Sai in the chat. When I was a kid, games were on cassette tape. Used to be able to buy a game with the Spectrum version on the side A, an Astra version on side B. There you go. Look, I'm not that you could, it's all downloads mainly nowadays, to be fair, but and share your mates both did well, worked then.
Oh, that's it.
Oh, crap. Yeah. Fables to be announced. One of the games that I think it was one of the first games they showed. So because you've not played any, Jack, have you got any desire to try this one? Or
to be honest, I'm not going to lie, it doesn't look like my type of game.
Really?
And that's just a judgment of what I've seen. But I also said that about Elden Ring, and then lost 6 months of my life constantly dying over and over and over and over and over again. I don't think I could probably say, right, if you added up all of my deaths in all of the games I've played for the years, I've probably still died less than I've died in Elden Ring.
Mate, Elden Ring is like a hardcore...
It took me 3 months to beat one boss. And I
You've got to
try
level up.
constantly.
You can't, like some games, like Fable. Then, for instance, Fable, right, is a good example compared to Elden Ring. In Fable, you can get by upgrading your weapons a little bit, but you can get by and beat bosses. Is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Not easily, but get used to their patterns and you can beat them. Elden Ring is fucking unforgiving, and it literally one swipe from a boss will kill you if you're not a high enough level. And even when you are higher, it might only kill you like it'll maybe 2 hits, maybe, but it's unforgiving basically.
What cracked me up with it was the first thing you come across on the game was a stupidly hard boss. That horse rider guy. As soon as you walk out at the start of the game, and he just annihilates you. I think like it took me 3 months before I was high enough to go back and actually kill that horse rider.
Yeah, none of us killed him initially. We just snuck around him and went to
even
the church,
like 3 of us there. Yeah, even 3 of us could not take him out or even do any damage, he'd be just one-shotting us.
It's not a gripe in a sense of gameplay or anything, but the only gripe for me, as you know me quite well, so I'm up for multiplayer games where I get to play with you guys and have a laugh and work together. And this is why I like DMZ and stuff. But like the way you have to, part of me is like, why does it have to be so hard to get multiplayer? But on the other hand, it makes sense because you got to get like a potion, a dagger, and all this stuff to try and get multiplayer.
Yeah,
it's not just going to go, just invite your mate. No, you've got to work for that as well.
And you can only do it in a specific area. You can only call them into help on fights, can't you? You can't.
So I know, I'm just going to say, Liam in the chat said I had a little trick with the tree sentinel. I'd be quite interested to know what that is, to be fair.
Let us know what that is,
let
because
us know, man.
Months we were there fighting that tree sentinel.
Months. I need to re-download it actually and actually play it again because
I have re-downloaded it because I want to continue it.
Okay, man. What I'm going to have to start doing this week. I'm pretty free, I think, as I know right now. Shoot over to BenNny Mac Gaming. I'll put it onto install later. I'm going to have to try and start doing some more stuff on the channel and playing some games and stuff, which is what we did with Redfall, didn't we? We tried Redfall out and stuff. But let's move on, mate, because it's getting on a bit, and you've had a long day. I want to know this trick for that. That
I do, in fairness.
One of the games that I wasn't really expecting this, mate, to be totally honest with you. But
Star Wars. See, I'd heard rumors of an open world Star Wars game being developed by Ubisoft.
Yeah, same.
Rumors here, but do you know what I like about this? And I like the Jedi games, but this just is not Jedi focused.
Well, when we watched the showcase live, you were like, it kind of looks like a Han Solo type thing. I think that was something like that.
Like a Han Solo-esque story.
Yeah.
Like the main character there looks like she looks like she could be he wasn't a bounty hunter, was he? He was was a cross between like a smuggler and
he was a smuggler, wasn't he? Han Solo.
So that's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, this little creature, by the way.
And that's just a small Chewie.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. It is a small Chewie, yeah. So yeah.
Hang on. We need to pause this a sec. Liam has just said he killed it at level 14. What? Level 14?
I killed it at level 14. Really? Got a torrent first, then go back and just hit and run constantly. You must be bloody quick, mate.
Level 14?
How's he done that?
I don't think I killed it to like level 60 odd. And I kept trying. But anyway, back to Star Wars.
Anyway, we'll have to do an Elden Ring special, I think. I don't know.
Oh, mate, Elden Ring, fantastic. Though. But yeah, this looks good. This looks really good. Considering I wasn't expecting it, it does look really good. But it's not got confirmed release date, is it? It was for 2024.
Says the only thing I could find, just a different breed. The only thing I could find was that it was going to be out in 2024. That's it, mate. I will try and. They actually did release. That's like more the trailer. They actually did.
I didn't catch the Ubisoft event because they were doing. No, I've not seen the gameplay. I know it was the Monday, wasn't it? After we'd done the thing, but I didn't get to it.
Unfortunately, I was going to say to you about maybe doing that as well, but we didn't have a lot of time to, try and.
We were very last minute as normal.
Right, I believe this is some gameplay here. Let me just see if I can. There we go. Yeah. Get it up for the people watching.
The only upsetting thing about it was the fact it didn't say day one on Game Pass.
Yeah, but it's Ubisoft. But I think if you're a Ubisoft Plus member, you can get it. Not that I want to be another member of something else, but the little creature, I've forgotten the name of it, but you can use that to distract guards and press buttons and stuff.
Who made Fallen Order?
Fallen Order?
Yeah.
That was EA, wasn't it?
Was it EA?
Which one's Fallen Order? Remind me, because
The latest one. Oh, it's not. It's the Jedi Survivor. Who made that? Was that EA?
EA made those, yeah. So Ubisoft are having a crack at it this time.
No, because that mechanic that looked very familiar to.
Yeah, EA made Fallen Order. Liam's confirming.
Yeah,
yeah. I said to you, it looked very much like the other ones in Jedi Survivor. So it does look like it.
That's what. Yeah, that's what I thought. It looked very.
But Ubisoft apparently making it. But yeah, no release date as.
Oh, hang on. Pause it. Just go back sort of 10 seconds.
Don't do this to me, mate, when we're live.
Now, yeah, click play. Now, watch where they look down at the guns on the ground and tell me that's not the Division.
Well, it's Ubisoft, mate, so it will be, won't it?
Yeah, but tell me that's not the Division.
Again, it will be, because it's a Ubisoft game. It's no different from playing Battlefield 1 and then playing Star Wars Battlefront, because the mechanics, because it's made by the same studio, there are similarities.
It's on the same engine.
Let me see if I can find the footage. I'll tell you what, I was really impressed with this. There's a bit where she's in a bar and then she gets caught, I think. Whether this is in this video, I don't know. But she runs to her ship, mate. Yeah, here it is. Well, I'll show you. Go. I won't say anything. I'll put it on and let you watch it. So she's just been discovered. She's wanted, or you're wanted as the player. So she's making a run to her ship. She's trying to obviously escape where she is. It says obviously there, escape the Empire. Not the biggest fan of Ubisoft games, as their servers are always terrible. Mate, EA are exactly the same. To be honest,
I had problems with the EA service for the years.
Yeah. So here you go, watch this. So if it'll show it. Again, I apologise to people listening, but come and join us on SJP World Media on YouTube, Facebook, and then on BenNny Mac Gaming on Twitch for GamePlay Junkies. Here we go, look, ready? Jumped in a ship. Bear in mind, she walked inside her ship. So you as the player are flying it, and then you've flown from the surface. Wait for
Straight
it.
up.
Wait for it. Into space.
Ooh, that's nice.
And apparently you can visit quite a few places. Tatooine was mentioned in one of the things I think I read. And now you got a bit of dogfighting going on here, obviously in space, fighting the Empire. I can't remember if it shows it in this video, but I believe there is you can do like a hyperspace jump as well. So apparently you can do this. It looks insane, Liam. You're absolutely right. It does. Again, I'm always a bit skeptical when games are like this, because you never know whether it's going to actually hit the way you want it to. Here we go. Look, calibrating the hyperdrive. So again, I apologise for people not who are listening to the audio version, but here we go. How cool is that?
Sorry, I was just reading. They're both run on the Snowdrop engine.
Yes, yeah, it is on the. So again, the Division is like I said, and now you're in a different system.
That is cool with Venice. That is cool.
I would assume because you fly out of the orbit like that, you would also fly in to the planet like that. But again, it didn't show that. It did show leaving. Now again, whether that's a loading screen disguises you leaving, I have no idea. But
I do. I hope it's as good as it looks as well, Liam. That is the worry these days, isn't it? That they released good trailers, and then you play the game and you're like, well, hang on, this said nothing like the trailer I've just watched.
There you go, mate. Yeah, 100%. It's an absolute pain.
But I'm sure no matter what game it is, we will have a massive day one patch.
Yeah, more than likely. Most games have day one patches, don't they? we got to show this. This is probably
Starfield.
This is probably the biggest.
Stole the show, didn't it, last week?
Absolutely. Absolutely amazing looking. I feel sorry for PlayStation players. But again, Sony's bloody greed and pain in the ass, whatever you want to call it, they could have quite easily had this as well. But Xbox Studios have brought Bethesda for a lot of money. I mean, we've already talked about it on the last week's stream when we were watching this live, mate. But anything new that you've learnt about it? Are you still as hyped now, or have you learnt? Where's your head at with Starfield? Is what I'm getting at.
I think it looks fantastic. I haven't seen anything new since last week. Obviously we sat there and we watched the whole reveal event for it, which that surprised me how much extra they put out. I didn't think they were going to go that deep a dive into it, but then again, they have put it back so many times that they kind of really had to do something, didn't they?
Yeah, but if you're an insider, not that I'm an insider as such, but I subscribe to their newsletter. Yeah, I will say I've only had about 3 or 4, in fairness. But when they have released stuff, I've seen stuff that through the studio and what they've been working on and stuff. So it's kept me somewhat entertained. But the amount of stuff they revealed during the actual showcase was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I was expecting nowhere near that amount of information, and it kind of just kept on coming. It's like, oh, here's ship customization. Then here's outpost customization. Then here's character customization. And you're just like, bloody hell, I spent my life customizing things.
Honestly, you could spend...
I spent the first 6 hours of the game customizing.
I could quite easily, I think I said this during the actual live stream, but I could quite easily see in people, like you said, spending a lot of time customizing their character, their ship, their base, whatever. You're going to have to collect resources for that, obviously. But... I could also look at that fight in space. It looks bloody amazing.
The only game that I have played that I'd say has got more character customization than this is Cyberpunk.
You reckon?
Well, you can customize everything on Cyberpunk.
Well, hopefully you won't have any... I mean, again, I didn't really see these issues that people are on about with Cyberpunk, in fairness.
I didn't on my first playthrough, but... I saw a lot of the information coming out, and apparently there was some horrific. But then again, there's always going to be teething problems, and games of this magnitude, like I reckon this Starfield could be the defining game of this console generation. Easily the defining game of the Xbox Series X.
It's hard not to think that, to be honest. I mean, look at it. It just look. I mean, we got teased a little bit at the end. We've seen weapons, we've seen ships, we've seen bases, we've seen settlements, we've seen cities. There's over 1,000 planets to explore and visit. But right at the end of the trailer, there was almost like a Force moment with a character, wasn't it? Where you have and we don't know anything about that. Now, what is that? Is that like a... What is it? That's the only thing we don't know about, really. It's set to release September 6, 2023 on Xbox. Game one? That's not right.
Day one.
Thank you. Day one on Game Pass is what I'm
Something I did see, actually, that's come out recently was the requirements if you're going to be playing it PC.
Oh, crikey.
Actually, it's not as bad as I expected.
No.
So minimum PC requirements, likely to be able to play at 720 to 1080 FPS with 30 FPS, 1080p with 30 FPS on low settings. So this is what you need to run that. You need Windows 10, either AMD Ryzen 5 series, or an Intel i7 680K, 16 gigs of graphics of memory. Either an AMD RX 570 or an NVIDIA 1070 Ti, 125 gigs of storage, and SSD required. So you can't use a hard drive, which is painfully obvious these days anyway. Recommended specs. So you'll be able to play on medium to high settings, decent high frame rate, playing at like 1080p to 4K. You need either an AMD Ryzen 5 series 3600X, an Intel i5 1060K, 16 gigs of RAM, an AMD RX 680 XT, or a RTX 2080. So it's not as bad as I thought.
The way they were talking, it was going to be like, you need a PC from this year.
Yeah, no, you're like, what, the 10 series NVIDIA was what we are now. We're on the 13th. No, actually, I think this year's is the 14th due out. So It's only 3 or 4 years. It's not too far back. In the 2080, we're on the 40 series graphics card at the moment. So it's a lot better than I thought. Like, you're not going to need the beefiest machine to play it. Well, yeah. Let me put it this way. I haven't installed it on the Xbox. I've installed it on the PC, or pre-installed it, because I don't want the hard-locked 30 FPS.
See, I don't think that's going to bother me as much as it'll bother you. Damn, looks like I'm going to have to make some upgrades, Liam's saying, to his PC. The game is going to be at least 100 gigabytes. I think it might be
125 gigabytes.
Was it 125 we got in the end, wasn't it?
What have you got, Liam? What is your setup? Let us know. We'll see how upsetting this upgrade process is going to be for you.
It might be cheaper to buy an Xbox, put it this way.
Well, mate, I know me and you should be fine with what we've got if we want to play it on PC.
Yeah, it looks like a bloody great game. I will probably see. I know it probably isn't going to be. You know, I'm an optimist, as you well know, with these types of things. But I very much want it to be multiplayer. Maybe later on it might be co-op. So I kind of want it to be on Xbox, because that opens the opportunity to play with a lot more people. If that
Do you
makes
know
sense.
What I reckon? Right,
Go on.
I'm going to make a little prediction here, and it's probably not going to happen, but I reckon they'll release this. They will then, instead of immediately starting work on a second, right, they'll work on a multiplayer patch.
Yeah, I believe
they'll get this game going.
Yeah, go on.
And then they will work on a multiplayer patch. 1660 Super, i7, and 2 SSD. That's not too bad. You should be right. You should be handling minimum easy. Obviously, if you want to play it higher than that, then you may need to be looking at some updates. I assume you've got an Xbox as well.
No, he said he's got a PlayStation.
Oh, well, then, you're screwed.
Mate, mate, they'll support this game for a while. Todd Howard, in another interview with IGN, I think it was, actually said that, or alluded to, that there's going to be like post-release content as well. Now, they've done that kind of before. How they would make this multiplayer, because obviously locking it, I would love it if it was. Don't get me wrong. I think a lot of players would love it if Starfield was going to be multiplayer.
Yeah.
But obviously, if it's not the end of the world, mate. To be fair, if they decided to come out and go, by the way, we are going to make this. We're going to make this multiplayer. I'd be like, amazing. I even if it's like I said, maybe I can visit your save file or your universe, or maybe we can, once I don't know. I'm not holding my breath for multiplayer, but it would be amazing if it had a post-release multiplayer in some way, shape, or form.
Well, I'm just reading an interview with Todd Howard, and he has confirmed post-release content. So there will be modding and DLC by the looks of it. So if I was them, and after the reaction that people they've got for it so far, I'd be looking at maybe obviously building off. They've got the base now, aren't they, for it? So working on a multiplayer patch or DLC or something that they can add in. That they don't need to redesign the whole game, do they? Because they've got that. So it's all they'd have to work on now is the multiplayer aspect of it. and how to add that
which
in.
they might be doing, maybe that was a delay, I don't know. But again, it's wishful thinking on my part. It would be amazing if it was, and a lot of players, like you just said, I think would like it. It looks bloody amazing. Hopefully it is amazing. It's all I can get at, really. I think that's about it, mate, for this week, innit, to be fair. It's from Bethesda, so no doubt we'll have multiplayer. I doubt. Yeah, you're right. I mean, the Fallout 76.
We're just wishful thinkers.
Yeah, we're trying to be, man.
Like when we say, "Oh, this would be the year GTA comes out," but we were saying that for the last 13.
Mate, I've been waiting for a Stargate game since 2007.
Okay, fair enough. That's longer than GTA.
There is a Stargate video I made, by the way, on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/BWMTV. Curse of the Stargate game. I made it years ago. It's the only popular video I got on my own channel, to be honest.
Did you see, though, actually, speaking of Stargate games, did you see, I heard there was a release date announced for Timekeepers?
Finally? Really?
It was not on the, I'm looking on the Steam store, it's just got coming soon.
It said,
but I thought I read somewhere that there was a, saying that, have they updated the Steam app as well?
I have no idea. I've not been on it for a week or two.
Because this looks completely different to what it did before I went away on Friday.
Anyway, we'll talk about off air, mate. Liam, Si, everybody that popped by, everybody's watched, everybody will watch later, everybody listen later. We apologise to people listening for the videos, but come and join us. We won't be back until I've got to look at my dates now, mate, because I am actually going to be away at some point. So
yeah, it's not next week; it's the week after. So what's that? That's the beginning of July, I think, is it?
Yes, which I won't be here for, so we might have to do a show next week.
I can't do a show next week.
Okay, so
because I am
airsoft. We will not be back then until I think I'm back on the 8th of July. So we won't actually be back for Gameplay Junkies until the 9th of July. Because as it works out, people listening to me, obviously, who know that I do In the Corner, it marks a year for Money in the Bank. And I'm not going to be here for my own year anniversary of my wrestling podcast. But I believe Tyler...
Liam can't do the week after.
Oh, okay. There we go then. We'll be back on... And that's my birthday on the 9th. We'll be back on the 9th, though, Liam. So if you're not... I don't know how old you are, so maybe you might be hungover. I have no idea. If you're not underage, you shouldn't be hungover.
So get the disclaimer out there.
Yeah. But
drinking is bad.
Yeah. It's normally bad when you run out. Yeah. We appreciate everybody listening. This is obviously Gameplay Junkies. Follow us on Twitter at Gameplay Junkies. We're on Twitch at BenNny Mac Gaming, and we're on YouTube, SJP World Media, and Facebook, SJP World Media. We're on the podcast at SJP World Media as well. You can follow Jack at JackV327 on Twitter. You can follow myself at BenNny Mac, BenNnyMack. He's I'm 20 this year, so most likely lol. Okay, fair enough. All right,
Liam. No need to rub it in. All right. 20 was a long time ago.
Well, for you, it was. Yeah, you're an old man.
You're older than me.
Drink responsibly, Liam, and hope you enjoy your birthday. But for everybody else, we will be back on the... What did I say, Jack? The 9th.
9th.
We'll be back on the 9th of July for some more Gameplay Junkies. See you later, Jack.
Yeah, see you later, mate. See you later, everyone.
Peace.